He like threw me against the wall and like pushed me up against the wall and like shaved my head. And I remember being like, I don't know, super emotional, and I ran away. Well, I just picked a direction, and then I went that far, and then I realized that I have no money, I have no food, I just have the clothes on my back,
right,
and no water. Like, what the heck am I gonna do?
So you had to go back.
So I had to go back. So then I hitchhiked all the way back without even telling my dad that I had done that. Because of all that happened to me, I was like very insecure and very having this scarcity feeling. I remember being like, yeah, I'm gonna change my life, I'm gonna get my shit together, but scarcity followed me.
It may not be obvious at first, but this story really illustrates the importance of having your needs met. You cannot be your fullest potential until you have met certain needs. Now, you wouldn't jump off a cliff and try to fly if you didn't have wings yet. And this is kind of similar. There's something called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This kind of shows graphically what you need to do in order to reach a certain level of self-actualization. The first level has to do with just taking care of your body. If you are hungry or thirsty or have no shelter, you're not going to be able to think about anything else. I think this is a point that a lot of people miss whenever they're talking about poverty. You cannot try and solve an environmental crisis if you are hungry or you have mouths to feed, your children are hungry. That is just not going to be your priority. Next, we have safety needs. If you're in danger, that is going to be your foremost concern. Like, if a dog attacked me right now, I would definitely end this video. I mean, and that seems pretty obvious. These very physical things are very obvious. But here's an aspect that I don't think is talked about enough, is that especially with these first two needs, even if the danger is gone, even if the hunger is gone, it can still exist in the person psychologically. If a child has grown up in a situation where there is no food, then they will gorge or they will steal food. You see a lot of theft with people that grew up with very, very little, and they act as if they're still in danger even when they're not. This is why solving trauma in ourselves, especially if it's been a physical trauma, is very important, because if you can't get over it, even if you're out of the situation, if you can't get over it in your own mind, then it's difficult to be your best self when you are still hung up on those needs of the past. Now, luckily, in Gabriel's case, he seems to have worked through a lot of this in his mind and has come to a place where he can feel safe and feel abundance in his own life. So the next level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs is belonging and love. This is the one that I struggled most with in my life. I've been blessed to be born into a family which I had my first two needs met. I never felt unsafe. I always had enough food to eat. But I did struggle a lot with trying to find my people, and now that I have found that place where I belong, it is much easier, it feels much safer to be myself and to put myself out there. Because I do feel like I belong, it is much easier to face the thought of rejection from institutions or online. I have that safety net that is holding me, and the people that love me, I don't know if they realize how much they actually help me in my own process of self-actualization just by being accepting and loving of me. And when a person does not have this need for belonging met, it can be dangerous. feeling like you don't belong, social pain activates the same part of the brain as physical pain. So feeling rejection or loneliness to your body is the same thing as actually being physically hurt. A classic example of this is Frankenstein. In the original book of Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein creates his person and then abandons them, leaves them to be completely alone in the world. Nobody will accept them. And it's at that point that they become dangerous. And I'm convinced that this is the reason why so many school shootings are happening. I do believe that anybody that I've met that has been very dangerous and very scary has had a lot of issues fitting in and finding a place and finding that belonging. And even if you are not a super social person, it is intrinsically human to want to be a part of society, a part of people. After you've met these basic needs for food and safety and belonging, what else do you need to become your fullest potential? Self-esteem is very important. And this is also something that I see a lot of people struggling with. It's something that you have to develop for yourself. And having a group that holds you in high esteem definitely helps it if you are valued by other people, but it is so important to value yourself and find your own worth in your own way that is not dependent on other people. Self-worth doesn't need any explanation. You don't have to prove it to anybody. Egotism, on the other hand, feeds off of other people's approval. You have to learn how to be gentle with yourself and to hold yourself in high esteem. Or else you're not going to go after the things that make you happy. You're not going to reach self-actualization if you don't even believe in yourself. But once you have that down, now you're getting to the part where you can actually self-actualize. You can become the best version of yourself because all of your needs are met. Not only physically, but mentally too. And just enjoy the process. This is the part where you finally get the wings and jump off. I feel like I am still working on what my self-actualization looks like. It's not about copying somebody else that looks like they've reached self-actualization. It's about going deep inside of yourself and nurturing the skills and your own desires for what that would look like. And that's the really exciting part. Now, there's one more level to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is self-transcendence. This is the part where you kind of like get over yourself. It's not about you anymore. You've reached self-actualization. You are the best version of yourself that you can be, which hopefully that never ends. Hopefully you're always growing in some sort of way. But I think that this is part of the growth process, is kind of like, okay, I've nurtured myself. I've come to a place where I'm really happy, and now that my cup is full, I can start to give it. I can act as a leader or a mentor and teach another person the ways that I've come through. And I've been so lucky to have so many beautiful mentors that have reached this part of their life where they've done it. They've done it all, and now they are just happy to impart this wisdom that they've gained along the way and the skills along the way. So I guess if you're still watching, thank you. I hope that it was valuable. And if you're there, comment below, where do you think you are on Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Do you have all your needs met? Are you still hung up psychologically in the past? I hope you like this video. You guys have a wonderful day. Thanks.
Belong with me too. Lift me up, I'll lift you too. I think we're gonna have to